All right, so you're in a meeting, you're in that room, and you're pitching your movie. Here are 3 mistakes that could destroy that pitch. You need to know these 3 mistakes and try to avoid them. Number 1 is a bad project. You haven't prepared. The script isn't there. The budget is insane for an indie film. All of those elements you have not put together before. You're just getting that meeting and you go, hey, this guy has a lot of money. Somebody introduces them to you and you go, oh, I'm going to go in and pitch a movie. And it's a really cool horror movie. And they go, oh, what's the budget? And you go, oh, still working on it. $10, $12 million. And oh, who's attached? Well, we're going to put this all together. And so it's a bad project because you haven't prepared. You haven't got your ducks in a row or stack the deck in your favor, so to speak, to try to prep that project. So it's really also can be called an unprepped project. So that's the first mistake. The second mistake is not knowing the investor. Now, you say, Tom, well, what if it's an introduction? I don't know that person. Well, the person who made the intro, you say, tell me about this investor. Tell me everything that you know about him or her. And you try to get information that way. Now, say your friend goes, I don't really know much about him or her. Okay, then you take the name and you Google it and you try to find all this information. Okay, he bought a restaurant. We have 2 restaurant scenes. Maybe we could shoot in that restaurant, and you glean information that way. Now, failing all that, let's just say the person who introduced you doesn't know anything about them, and then also there's no internet presence. Okay, I find that hard to believe, but let's just say. Then you go into the meeting, and the first thing you do is you say, Bob, tell me about your business. Even if they try to pin you down, tell them, give me your pitch. Or just, I'll distract them real quick. Oh, that's a beautiful, by the way, painting on the wall. Is that part of your business? I'd love to hear more about your business. And get them to talk. And that's when they'll say, yeah, man, I'm a huge church goer and I go to church every week. And you're thinking, I got my faith-based movie and they're going to love it. And so it's right there. So not knowing the investor is the second mistake. The third mistake, totally controllable by you, is low energy. If we look at energy on a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, 1 being the lowest, you have to be practicing this pitch all the time. I always say ABP, always be pitching, okay? And in sales, they say always be closing. In film, it's always be pitching, always have something to pitch. I can get whatever film I'm pitching funded today, within an hour I'd have another pitch ready to go, okay? Because you're looking at it a long-term career. The key with practicing this pitch is that you need to practice it at 7, 8, 9, 10. Because when you get in front of that potential investor, there's always going to be curveballs. It just happens. He or she takes a call, somebody walks in, something happens. They ask a random question right in the middle of your pitch, and it's like, oh, throws you off. So it's always going to throw you off. So if you're practicing at 8, 9, and 10, you're going to get in there and you're going to be 6, 7, 8. But that's okay. That's a sellable pitch. The key is if you're practicing at a 4, 5, and 6, and you're like, yeah, man, the film, it's a horror movie. I'm an okay fan of horror movies, but I think this one could come together well, and we got a good crew and all that. That's not the time to be cool. Like, do not try to be too cool. You want to be geeking out for your film. How are you going to get them to be excited about your film if you're not excited? And if you're practicing at a 4, 5, and 6, when you get in front of that potential investor, you're going to be a 1, 2, or 3, and 1, 2s, and 3s do not get the investment. So avoid those 3 mistakes: a bad project, not knowing the investor, or low energy. You go in there and flip all that. You have a prep project. You learn as much as you can about the potential investor, and you have great high energy, and you're on your way to getting that film funded.